Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Cedary. This is episode 536. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Casey. How are we, sir?
Sitting here watching the Sox-Tigers game, and it got me thinking, if you had, we'll call it 100 ABs.
Okay.
100 ABs off of Tarek Skubal. I would ask how many hits you think you could get off him, but I feel like that would be doing him a disservice. So maybe let's just go with like how many
balls in play.
How contact? I mean, we're talking
Including
foul balls.
balls.
How many of those ABs are inducing contact? We'll call it.
Do I get prep time? I get time to like.
Yeah, a couple warm-up swings. He's on the mound. He's ready to go.
Like the weeks prior, you know what I mean? Like I need a couple weeks to just get.
Sure, if you think that'll help.
Get the eyes going.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that'll help.
If we're counting foul tips.
Well, okay. Sorry. I mean, let's walk it back just for clarity. Do you think you're getting? I didn't mean to like jump ahead. Do you think you're getting on base off of Tarek Skubal in 100 ABs?
Oh, as far as in like on base goes, maybe one or two knocks, maybe
maybe little bleeders over the first baseman.
Yeah, I was gonna say one or two knocks, balls in play. I was gonna say maybe 7 or 8. If you give me foul tips, I'll bump it up to 10 to 12.
This dude is he's disgusting. He really is.
He really is.
It's a sight to behold.
It's different. Like I always love those videos where there's like an overlap where it shows like two different or multiple pitches. And then it's like the arm release looks the exact same. The ball looks the exact same for the first 30 feet. And then it breaks and you're just like, I don't know how anybody hits this.
Are you seeing this right now?
I got big inning on. I'm not watching your game. What happened?
Wilyer Abreu just scaled the wall. Well, I mean, he went up for the ball, robbed the home run. Ball comes at, tips the ball to Ceddanne Rafael, who's right next to him. He catches it like this and make the out.
Really?
What a play.
Maybe big inning worthy. Hopefully it switches over.
What a play. Let's talk about the big story here, Nate. There's been some news that has shaken the baseball world to its core and has really, let's call a spade, has evoked some strong feelings.
My core is shaken.
Across the baseball landscape. Major League Baseball announced Tuesday, in it, that the ban that was keeping Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and a long list of other players out of the game, that ban has been lifted. Ergo, those players are not eligible for the Hall of Fame. And I got to say, this, I don't know if you heard anything. This kind of took me by surprise. Had no idea this news was coming. Just fell from the clouds.
It sure did.
I was thinking, maybe there was a They had to wait a certain amount of time to do this. I don't know if that was the case or if Manfred was just like, yeah, I think it's been long enough since Pete Rose has been gone. Maybe we make the call now. Maybe we go ahead and make this announcement. Long story short, Manfred comes out, is quoted as saying this. Well, first of all, he ruled
the following.
Vis-a-vis the following. Ergo, the latter. No, he ruled that the punishment of these banned individuals ended upon their deaths. Quoted as saying, obviously, a person no longer with us can represent a threat to the integrity of the game. Moreover, it is hard to conceive of a penalty that has more deterrent effect than one that lasts a lifetime with no reprieve. Therefore, I have concluded that permanent ineligibility ends upon the passing of disciplined individual, and Mr. Rose will be removed from the permanently ineligible list. So if I'm interpreting that right, the second Pete and not to like make light of somebody's passing, but like based on that definition, based on that announcement from Rob Manfred, that this was the case the second he was gone. Am I correct in thinking that or interpreting it that way? Is that what it sounds like to you?
Sounds like it.
So with that said, I don't know if I fully understand the timing of all of this. But the big takeaway here is, and I mean, Shoeless Joe Jackson, you can throw him into the mix here, but obviously Pete Rose is the headliner. Now, as I mentioned, now eligible for the Hall of Fame. So it begs the question, Nate, does Pete Rose get into the Hall of Fame? And I'm going to need you.
I'd say yeah.
I'm going to need you to walk me through this because I've thought more and more about it today. And I had a moment today on my commute home and I'm thinking about this more, knowing that we were going to talk about it tonight. And I'm going, for many, many years, I myself was campaigning for Pete Rose to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I have been vocal about my feelings about names related to the steroid era that I don't believe should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Namely Barry Bonds.
Heard of him.
Given, and I'll say it again in case you are unfamiliar with my stance on him, the reason I feel strongest when it comes to Barry Bonds is because he holds the record of all records.
To see the catch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Was against Kerry Carpenter. Come on, man. Couldn't it be against someone else?
I continue.
That was cool.
Barry Bonds holds the
I know the record.
Barry Bonds holds the record of all records. And for him to, I won't say go around flaunting it, but for his supporters, rather, to go around flaunting it, for the people in the baseball world, as if he would have achieved that without PEDs. It's just crazy to me. And it's call it unfair to Barry Bonds for there being somewhat of a double standard, but that's what in my opinion, that's what you get when you hold the record of all records. We're not talking about some guy that just, added 75 more home runs to his career total and finished with, 212. We're talking about the guy who holds the record of all records. Again, Pete Rose, I'm driving down the road and I'm going kind of the same situation here. Obviously not steroids, but kind of the same situation here where you're talking about the record of all records when it comes to hit totals.
Sure.
And I'm thinking to myself, how can I feel differently about Pete Rose? Like, the more I think about this, I have to step back from as I mentioned, my aforementioned campaigning for Pete Rose to get in. And I had to sort of reevaluate now that this news has come out, because I think in my head, when I was pushing for Pete to get in the Hall, when I was like, yeah, he needs to be in, no doubt.
I was under the assumption it was never going to happen.
It was never going to get in. But now that this news has broken, and now that it's a very realistic possibility,
You're hopping camps.
I'm not hopping camps. Call it on the fence.
You're taking a look in the mirror.
Taking a look in the mirror. I'm evaluating my thoughts.
You're evaluating how you evaluate.
That's correct.
Thank you.
So, I mean, tell me how to think about this.
I don't know how to think about it. That's the problem. Because I was kind of along the same lines where, like, I've always kind of been on the fence about it. I get the arguments. I've always gotten the arguments where it was like, hey, it didn't involve the games he played in. And
it was on his team to win.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I don't know either. And especially you've brought this point up a multitude of times, how prevalent betting is in sports now, and how promoted it is by these leagues. And so I think it is a little, it's a little hypocritical for MLB to be pushing betting the way they push it, where your hit king is excluded from. It's hard, man. Like I don't really know how I feel about it. Do you think I think he gets in? Yeah, I think he gets in. Do I understand this rule? No. Do I think it's almost more cruel to wait till he dies? I know that was like a weird topic and a weird question that has been tossed out for a while now. Like that, this isn't the first time that this has been broached. I didn't expect a full laundry list of names to be. I thought it was just kind of a case-by-case situation. I didn't expect for just say, hey, anybody that has a lifetime ban that gets lifted the second they die. One could argue it's more cruel. It's odd. Like I don't know. And
it was cold. I mean, you heard what Manfred
cold,
said.
Right?
Say what you will about Pete Rose and say what you will about Manfred, but the way that came across to me was rather cold, where he said, it is hard to conceive of a penalty that has more deterrent effect than one that lasts a lifetime with no reprieve. It's like, dude, we know, like you don't have to. And I know it's been a handful of months now, half a year since Pete's been gone. And again, say what you will about the guy. I know there's people that were like celebrating his death. They're like, oh, this creep is gone now. It's like, what? I'm not looking at it through that lens. And I know that maybe some people think that I should, but we're talking baseball here. So I'm doing what I can to look at it through a baseball lens. I'm simply saying that the commissioner of the sport couldn't have found a more tactful way to address the matter instead of just being like, yeah, I can't think of a better way to ward guys away from doing things like this than by penalizing them until they're dead. It's like, and sure, it was a little more buttoned up than that, but I'm like, what a weird thing to say. Again, Manfred, like, people are like, oh, what a win from Manfred. It's like, yeah, but I guess if you're pro Pete getting in, but the way he went about it was just, it was very bizarre.
Well, that's like the ultimate, but the ultimate sad part to it is that, like, if he does get in, if there is some kind of speech, if someone gives it for him, it's going to be completely surrounded by the sentiment of like, I wish he was here. Like that's going to be like the main thing that's said in whatever speech or comment or quote that comes out of anyone from his camp. That's what I wish he got to witness this.
But to the people that wish he would have been here to receive induction into the Hall of Fame, I don't have an answer. I'm more so asking, do you think it would have been more messy if he was actually there in person versus him receiving this after the fact?
Yeah, for sure. More controversial.
I mean, because the controversy in and of itself of him not being there is going to be enough controversy to fuel that weekend of festivities should he get in. But again, if he was there to receive this induction, it would have been also messy.
I don't know if there's a right way to go about this, to be honest. I don't know if there's like, I was always under the thought that like it was either never going to happen, or we were going to get to this point in life where you and I are the old heads, and we're late in life, and we're telling our grandkids about players, and Pete Rose probably isn't one of the main players being brought up. But we're still in this period of like a lot of these writers got to see him play. Whether they were writers at the time, no, it was their dads telling them about this, or, you know, hearing these stories from their grandparents. Like, it was still relevant enough to be in that generation. I thought that there was just going to get to this point where if he ever did get in, it would be where that almost kind of died off, and it would be a harder decision to get him in or not. It makes you wonder if any of these writers have like a soft spot in their heart, and that's how this is the problem with the Hall of Fame, and this is the problem with this system, is that it is just so subjective, and I've lost faith in it year over year. Like, it's gotten worse for me as time goes on. And maybe there is some ulterior motive that, like, hey, if you're going to let Pete in, you might as well let these other guys in, like Barry and A-Rod and McGuire or whatever. So it's like, I don't know what's going to come from this. So I don't know how I feel about it. And it sucks that these guys are having to be categorized in the same way, where they cheated in one way or another. But like, I've never gotten the feeling of seeing Pete Rose in any videos or interviews or conversations with fans or meetups or him signing baseball saying he's sorry. Like, it's weird for that comment to say that he can't hurt the game anymore, because a lot of what he did after he retired, one could argue that was helpful to the game of baseball. And I think he was sorry. And well, I think that's what makes it even more harsh.
I think he was quoted as saying not long before he passed, they're asking about, obviously the Hall of Fame induction and whether he thought he'd get in. And I don't have the quote in front of me, but I thought I read something to the effect of him saying, if I do get in after the fact, like, what good does that do me? It's going to benefit nobody but the league and the sport, because they're just going to profit off of it in one way, shape, or form, which he's not wrong.
Yeah. Because now you have that. Now you have the Reds being able to do anything that the Reds want to do for him, whether that's some kind of statue or number retiring or ceremony. Like, yeah, he's exactly right. That's what makes it cruel. That's what makes it like you might as well have just left it.
You brought up the topic of time, though, and I kind of went back and forth. I'm like, with more time, like, had this not happened, if more time had continued to pass, would time have helped Pete Rose? And look, I'm not getting into the weeds of like what he was alleged of doing, because I'm well aware that he is, he's acknowledged what he did, and that he was under the assumption of one thing versus another. It's not my place to say. I'm not getting into the legal weeds of it. But had more time passed, let's call it years. I'm not talking like months, like years, maybe even decades. Would time have hurt him or helped him? Because I feel like I could see it both ways, where it's like, one, you talk about the people that were like his peers, those who were around, whether it be reporters, guys he played with, who could continue to bolster his case, continue to push for that. Mm-hmm. Once those guys start passing away, you lose that base. Then you don't have that momentum helping you. posthumously. On the flip side, though, a lot of the people that are anti Pete Rose because of what presumably what he did off the field. As we learn with these things, right or wrong, time tends to soften your view on an individual, regardless what they did or didn't do. That's just the way time works.
So does death. Yeah.
As is death. So it's like I don't have an answer on the matter, but I feel like I could look at the effect of time on Pete Rose's legacy. Again, had this not happened, pretend we're still waiting to see if he ever gets put off the list. I could see time having a positive or a negative effect.
I got a question for you. I don't I'm not trying to like make it about me in saying this, but like I don't necessarily have like, my dad doesn't love baseball. He loved baseball watching me. He loved going to my games, but like he wasn't super in touch with it. Your dad obviously loves baseball and coached us for, half of our lives. What have you talked to him about it? Like what are his thoughts on it? Because I mean, that's someone that is in that generation that did have the exposure to Pete Rose in a way.
I actually haven't gotten a chance to talk to him about it, but I can guess, and I'll have.
Have you ever got his opinion on it in general?
I feel like I need to, but I feel like until that conversation happens, I could probably guess where he would sort of fall. Maybe not on, should he be in the Hall of Fame or not. I won't speak for him on that matter, but I'm sure he and many other people of that era could all acknowledge, and my dad, this is the thing that something that he values a lot is the way he played the game. Mm-hmm. Charlie Hustle. He was guy was going to give you everything he had every single day. And for some people, like on the flip side of the off the field crowd that can't stand him for those reasons, that you have another side, or I won't even say there's two sides. Maybe it's a little more gray than the black and white that I'm making it out to be. But on the flip side, you've got people who very much appreciated, cherished what he did on the field as a player and even as a manager, I suppose, that maybe would be, and I'm not saying my dad or speaking for anybody else here, but I'm saying maybe people, because of that, would be willing to look past any offense that took place off the field. Again, nothing was, punished legally, I guess you could say. I think there was just like some hot water that he got himself into, obviously. But anyway, there's just so many ways that I feel like you could look at this, and I'm curious if this announcement from Major League Baseball, from Rob Manfred, really changes anybody's mind, or if this just further digs the heels in, if you will, of people on either side of the aisle, regardless where they fall.
Right.
Because of this news. I don't know.
I get what you mean.
But you're saying you think he gets in. At the end of the day, you think he gets in?
I do. I do think he gets in. Now, did they say anything about like what this process looks like? Are they back on the ballot? Is it like the committee situation where you get like guys off the ballot that still get a chance?
I haven't confirmed, but I think that I've came across a note at some point in the last 24 hours talking about how there might be a committee involved
solely around this.
Yeah, I think to get them on the ballot, I think like a decision has to be made to get them on the ballot, because the way I'm interpreting this and understanding it is that this just means that they're no longer, banned or ineligible, even though they've passed away.
Yeah.
But getting on the ballot, I think, is a whole nother conversation.
Because the obvious like reasoning and points to the question is that like you have a limited amount of votes, and like how unlucky would it be if you're on the ballot for the first time in your career and like maybe you're one vote away from staying on that ballot, and that vote is going to some guy that was, spent his entire life being banned. You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting thing. Like I wouldn't want current players to suffer on the ballot. So I don't know what that situation looks like, but overall, I think he gets in. And I think it does kind of settle some stuff, and it makes you wonder if this is some type of stepping stone to the steroid era. Let's just face it. And I've always kind of been in the camp where, the Hall of Fame needs to have it's a museum. And the fact for us to act like certain players or certain eras just didn't happen, just didn't exist, I think is also a disservice to the game. So if there's some kind of wing that can be created, and you want to call it, the cheater wing or the banned wing or whatever it is, the truth of the matter is, when I have a kid, I want to be able to take them to the Hall of Fame, and I want to be able to tell them about those players and those eras and those moments in the game, because our game is what it is today because of those things.
Exactly.
We can't just act like they didn't happen or didn't exist.
Yeah.
It's still a museum at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I'm all for telling the story, because like you said, we wouldn't be, regardless how you feel about steroids, this game would not be what it is today without that era of player, of game, of narrative, of storyline. And I think the issue that I have with the Hall of Fame is this constant effort of trying to present this like faultless image, and it's like, that's just not baseball. That's not life. You can't. Right. There's you're from beginning to whenever the game of baseball comes to an end, because everything comes to an end. Don't know when it's going to be. I hope it's not for a very, very long time. But you cannot expect to present the history, the story of the sport in a way that is without blemish. And so I know it's easy for me to say, but you just got, like you're saying, you got to find a way to present it via a steroid wing, and just call it that. Just call it the steroid era. Don't try to button it up and be like baseball in the 90s. Like, just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that I think you're going to appease, not completely, but that's probably as good as you're going to get, is it if you at least acknowledge what happened and stop pretending as if it never happened, but also presenting the caveat that this wasn't done, on the up and up. I don't know.
You've dropped some good words so far.
I'm trying, man.
This episode. What was the first one?
Posthumously.
That's a good one. Caveat ain't bad, but posthumously.
How about that?
I think we beat this thing to death, yeah?
I don't know. We haven't talked about Shoeless Joe Jackson yet.
Do we need to?
I mean,
I feel like this is a whole different level.
Guy's been waiting 106 years for justice, No, it's...
I don't want him in, because that changes the whole script to Field of Dreams. They're going to have to remake Field of Dreams.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh yeah, I've got like a pretty good understanding of like the Black Sox scandal and all that.
Rafi.
I don't think I have nearly the idea about everything that happened there that I think I do. I need to brush up.
Do you
No, I need to be educated. That's what I'm saying.
I probably do too.
Like, I don't even think I've seen, what is it, 8 Men Out? I think I've got to watch that. I need to read some books. I hate reading, so that's already,
Same.
I'm already down a notch there.
8 Men Out, I've heard is decent.
Maybe I'll try to watch that this weekend. I've heard it's a good motion picture.
Is Charlie Sheen in that one too?
I feel like he is. Why do I feel like that was like sort of a loaded cast? Maybe not. John Cusack, Charlie Sheen, Christopher Lloyd, Michael Lerner.
Decent cast.
Not a bad cast.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, as I mentioned, Shoeless Joe gets removed off the list, and a plethora of other.
Any other recognizable names?
No, but you want me to run through some of these names?
I'd love to hear some names if we're going back then.
Buck Weaver, Eddie Cicotti, Lefty Williams, Happy Feisch, Fred McMullen, Swede Risberg.
Oh, Swede.
Chick Gandil, Joe Gideon, Gene Paulette, Benny Koff, Lee McGee.
Come on.
Shuffling,
that's not real.
I swear to you, Lee
McGee.
Magee. Unless it's Lee Magee, but I like Lee McGee better. That's way better.
So do I. His parents hated him.
Shufflin' Phil Douglas.
Shufflin'
Phil Douglas. IN apostrophe, no G.
Oh, that's even better.
Shufflin' Phil Douglas, Jimmy O'Connell, Cozy Dolan, William Cox, and the aforementioned Pete Rose.
Excellent.
Welcome to not being permanently banned forever by baseball.
Shufflin'.
Welcome, Shufflin'. Good to have you. In other news, let's move along. Nate, pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, gas me up a bit.
Paul Skenes. The Paul Skenes. Some may even say top 3 pitcher in baseball, has committed to pitch for Team USA in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. That's all I got. But big news from Paulie Skenes, DJ Paulie Skenes. I love this. This is huge for many reasons. One, it bolsters what's already, I'm hoping, going to be a fantastic roster. I mean, we've seen the projected lineup, the hopeful lineup, if you will. But you never know. It's easy to put the best names down on a sheet of paper and then be like, well, this could be it. It rarely works out that way. But I mentioned that I love this for many reasons. Another reason that I love this is because you've got one of the game's premier players already, even at his age, even at his early stage in his career, one of the game's premier players saying, yeah, I'm down.
That's huge.
Count me in. You saw they brought him out on what was it, MLB Central the other day to make the announcement. And you got D-Row talking about how, like, I thought I was going to have to talk him into this. And Skenes was like, I thought I was going to have to talk you into this. And that just goes to show you, like, his willingness to want to contribute to this. And he talked about watching previous World Baseball Classics. So to the creator of the World Baseball Classic, I mean, maybe not completely, but we're like 95% mission accomplished in terms of getting this moving in the right direction. Because if you go back and look at some of those previous rosters, absolute garbage, bunch of nobodies. I mean, no disrespect, but bunch of nobodies.
Some disrespect.
It's a little bit of disrespect, but at the same time, they were willing to sign up. So, I can't knock them too much. But comparatively to others in the league, maybe not as noteworthy, maybe not as notable. But when you get a guy like Paul Skenes saying, yeah, I'm in, you start looking elsewhere around the league going, well, why wouldn't you join
Yeah.
this team?
Yeah. See, that's my thing. And that's like, I didn't mean any shade against Mike Trout. It was just like, if it was Mike Trout 4 years prior to the last one or 3 years prior to the last one, then it would have felt a little bit different. Like I think it was just towards the end and it didn't carry the same weight. Now you literally have arguably two of the most popular players from either side of the ball that can don USA jerseys signing up and saying yes. Like that in their prime, during their best part, and we probably haven't even seen Paul Skenes' prime yet, but during their top peak athleticism, they're saying, yes, let's do it. So it's like, yeah, I say what you will about Aaron Judge not being a good captain or whatever, but like people are gonna want to go play with him, bro. Like, yes, I'm signing up to someone who averages 60 home runs a year for the last 3 years. I'm down. Let's roll. Yes, I want to sign up for somebody who does not care who's in the box, who is going to throw the way he wants to throw, who has donned USA uniforms in the past, in his youth, who was ready to put on the real USA uniform and go fight for our country. Yeah, bro. Gas me up. I'm super down.
And I think we came up with our own like dream Team USA lineup just a few weeks back. And we were throwing out names like Scooble and things like that, and maybe some other arms that would really fill out a front end of a rotation. But honestly, I'm like, if this is our number one, I'm cool with that, because who was our number one last year or last time around?
Adam Wainwright?
Lance Lynn, I think, was on the staff.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great. Well, like, we made progress positionally. Like, we had some dudes.
I think Merrill Kelly was
around the Merrill Kelly was also, yeah, and he was getting comparisons to like Thomas Jefferson or something, which I thought was a little weird. But I was vibing.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
But
We're already off to a better start.
That's what I'm saying. Positionally, if we can replicate or even improve upon what we did last time out, but then get better arms, nobody's beating that team.
Nobody.
And I put it out
I'm gonna need like an army green alternate jersey. I think that needs to be a thing.
They're not gonna do that.
I think they need to. I think they need to.
Dude, this logo right here that I got on my shirt, they are gonna run with this, it seems, for the next
I gotta be honest,
centuries.
I miss the old USA logo.
I don't even know what the old USA logo was at this point.
It didn't have the striped S. It was a star.
I couldn't be more out on the striped S. I mean, I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it because I did snag this while we were out there, so I'm gonna wear it.
We had to, yeah.
But I'm like, you could do so like channel. I may or may not have said this on the pod. Channel the 19. Go look up the uniforms that the 1980 USA hockey team wore in the Olympics. It's like you've probably seen jerseys like this on college campuses or stuff, like the vintage throwbacks. It's like the royal blue, the red, and the white. Go with that. That's top tier. Give me like the nice block lettering, very like a minimalist jersey, some stars, some stripes, or whatever. Call it a day. It's game over. Nobody's beating that team. Japan, good luck.
This was the old one.
Yeah, no,
it's better.
I vibe with that, but I still think you could even improve upon that.
You definitely could, but it's better than this striped S thing.
Yeah, I'm over it. And in the chat, Jacob says, would prefer a different manager for WBC. No, I couldn't disagree more. I love me some D-Row.
I could not disagree more, Jacob.
Love me some D-Row.
A Braves fan who doesn't like D-Row? What? I don't understand. I don't follow. I need a follow-up comment because
Crazy.
That don't
is
make no sense.
D-Row is a dude, and I can only imagine that the guys in that
I think he's the perfect guy.
dugout for that short period of time and there in March.
I think he's the perfect guy because like he obviously knows ball, but he's like very openly like a fan of these guys. To where there's
dude,
like
he got
this
giddy
level,
when Skenes walked out from behind the wall on MLB Central.
There's like a level of like fandom, the respect because he did play and he played for a long time. And he's also like not too old. Like he checks every box. That's a miss, Jacob. You missed. You're taking an L. Wear that one.
Wear that one. Who does he want as a skipper? Buck? Yeah, let's get old Buck in there. No disrespect. No disrespect. All right, let's get the guy. D-Row is the guy. D-Row's the fit. You know, I say run it back. Just keep running back with D-Row. I mean, hopefully we get like a win or two in there, but like just keep running back.
I agree. And I would like to see D-Row actually get an actual manager job someday. But until then, just keep cycling this.
I agree. I agree with you, but I'm like, you know, if this is like his little niche thing, I'm whatever. Like,
I see
does
you
MLB Network?
Your eye. You're so torn on this situation right now, aren't you?
Stop. I'm just waiting for the Sox to blow it yet again.
You're so torn.
Get swept out of Detroit.
For those who don't know, obviously Kyle's a Red Sox fan. Chapman on the bump, who's on Kyle's fantasy team, facing Javi Baez, who's on Kyle's fantasy team, with a man on third, bottom 9, 1 out. You couldn't be more torn. You're okay with any outcome right now, aren't you? He missed it.
There's your follow-up comment. D-Row hasn't gotten a manager role, so I want someone with more experience. Jacob, he took him to the championship round of the tournament.
And there's not many managers that have WBC experience. Different ball game, different whole different challenge.
Crazy.
Wear the L, Jacob. It's a tough night.
Talking about the Sox, let's get into some giving some props here, shall we? Rafael Devers, over his last 15 games, hitting .390 coming into today, Wednesday. .390 with 4 homers, 15 ribbies, and an OPS of 1139. Again, that's his last 15 games. Coming into today since May 8th, which is when he made his comments about first base and Nate's birthday.
It's a good birthday gift.
He's hitting
Sox controversy.
Okay. I was like, well, I'm not tracking here because if you're talking about what I'm about to say, then I'm a little confused. Rafael Devers since May 8th is hitting .455 with 2 homers, 8 ribbies, and an OPS of 1328.
Those are super, super impressive and tradable stats.
And we just got swept out of Detroit. Love that. Well, I'm going to turn this TV off. Golly, man. Anyway.
Oh, Chapman strikes again.
Anyway.
I want to see if he smiles.
And the reigning AL Player of the Week, just to put a bow on the first honor for this week's credit cannon, Rafael Devers. Next up, Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon coming into Wednesday has a .395 average with 15 hits, 4 homers, 7 ribbies, and an OPS of 1353 since the start of the month. What's interesting, though, is not just that stretch, but what he did before that. From the start of the season to April 30th, he was hitting .147 with an on base of .273, slugging .235, and an OPS of .508. Counter that with the numbers I just shared before that. Quite the turnaround. Ryan McMahon, congratulations on your first honor from the credit cannon.
I am going to copy and paste my last statement. A very tradable performance. a lefty third baseman who's got some pop and plays good D. He's a little expensive, so the Rockies are gonna have to eat money. But like, if he can the
Rockies love eating money. What are you talking about?
True. Don't be surprised if he finds a new home at some point this season and provides some juice.
Anywhere, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Anywhere in particular? I mean, who knows? The Red Sox might be looking for a corner infielder before too long.
It's valid. I think does he have some first base time? I don't know if he does.
I feel like he does. No. Does he have outfielder experience though? I feel like
could see a little Mariners in that maybe.
Yeah, he's got some first base time.
Yeah,
he's also got some time at second. What the heck?
See a little Mariner in that. I would say Yankees, but they need right-handed hitters. I mean, if Philly continues down this path of not loving one Sir Alec Bohm, that would be interesting.
Bro just went deep tonight.
Bohm would really hate this place if Bro got traded to Denver. That'd be the worst.
I don't know. Doesn't seem to be too happy in Philly right now. Speaking of Philly, Kyle Schwarber ending his 47-game on-base streak today in the first game of the doubleheader. But what did he do in game 2 of the doubleheader? Mammo tank to right, starting a new streak anew. So good for Kyle Schwarber. He's not the only Philly I got on here, but I had to transition to a Philly with that setup. So let's digress a little bit here. Let's go Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson right now is the only player in baseball with over a 500 slugging percentage and under a 10% strikeout rate this season. He had his first career 2-homer game, and it came against the Dodgers in a game in which the A's beat the Dodgers by what? A score of 11-1. The A's, my Sacramento A's, my postseason A's.
Should we go out there?
Marched it to where? Sacramento?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like Sacramento's a dump? No disrespect. This is the no disrespect episode.
You don't just get to say no disrespect after you just
you can literally say
somebody.
No, you can literally say whatever you want as long as you follow it with no disrespect.
Or with all due respect before.
with all due respect.
Sacramento sucks.
Honestly, that sounds
like
more
Sacramento's
insulting.
Not that bad. With all due respect.
When you preface it, when you lead them with all due respect, that's more insulting than no disrespect.
Per my last email
start. Yeah.
I love those, man.
I hate it. How are the game probably hasn't started yet because it's a 10:00 game. I was gonna say how the A's beating up on the Dodgers tonight. No, A's are 22-20. Don't look now.
That's such a wild stat, dude.
Isn't it?
To not strike out this much, it's very odd, and it's not like he's walking a ton. Bro just puts the ball in play all the time.
Very very old school.
Is he already better than his dad? No disrespect.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I have no idea who his dad is. Wilson's a pretty generic name. What's the story?
Jack.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, we talked about. You're right. Yeah, I recall.
He was a pirate for a while, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah. We talked about this. Holy cow, we're old.
Mm-hmm.
According to Martin Gallegos on Twitter, per our MLB research team, Jacob Wilson is the first visiting rookie in MLB history to collect 4 hits and 2 home runs in a game at Dodger Stadium. Lil Bro was not intimidated by the bright lights whatsoever.
Let's go A's.
In fact, it probably helped that he had bright lights compared to what they're working with out there in Sacramento. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. But his baseball savant page is exactly what you would expect it to be. A whole lot of blue and a whole lot of red. It's not, we're not talking like middle of the road here. Very much ends of the spectrum. Exit velo, hard hit percentage, barrel percentage, sweet spots percentage, bat speed percentage. He's in the first percentile in bat speed percentage. But when it comes to, he's in the 100th percentile squared up percentage, K percentage, and whiff percentage, he's 99th. Expected batting average 97th. So literally exactly what you would expect. So good for Jacob Wilson. That was a long-winded way of saying,
sure.
Welcome to the credit cannon. We already went through, we covered Kyle Schwarber. Next Philly up. Zack Wheeler. Philly's ace is coming in, riding a 5-game slate that is exceptional. In his last 5 starts, he's 3-0 with an ERA of 2.14 with 46 strikeouts in those 5 starts. I saw a stat today. Zack Wheeler is one of 4, and this is maybe from a day or two ago, so I don't know if this has changed. I doubt it. But Zack Wheeler, as of a couple days ago, is one of 4 arms in baseball that are top 10 in strikeout percentage and walk percentage. Tarek Skubal, Zack Wheeler, Hunter Green, and Joe Ryan.
Decent. Is he the front runner for the NL Cy Young right now? I'd have to say yes.
No, why do I feel like we're missing somebody super obvious right now?
Well, I mean, Hunter Green is hurt.
No, I know.
Missed some time.
It doesn't help. I think when he comes back, we'll quickly forget a missed start or 2. I think we'll be all right.
Cease has had some hiccups.
Yamamoto's
look good, but not Cy Young good.
Let's check here. Who?
Sale
Logan
looks like he's
sorry. Did
back.
you say Logan Webb?
I didn't.
Logan Webb's looking very good this year. Paul Skenes.
Webb's tough because, he has been punching out guys more often this year than he has in his career, but he's tough, man, because he just doesn't have the sexy numbers.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of ground balls.
Paul Skenes, I think, is just going to have the
Popular.
the sex appeal, if you will,
Sure.
when it comes to the vote. Whether or not he's able to shake off a couple of these if he starts as of late, we have yet to see, but I think the confidence is there to do it.
Whatever keeps him in shape for the WBC.
Truly. Yeah. I mean,
There's nothing else you're playing for.
Nothing else you're playing for. Absolutely nothing. And lastly here, closing out this week's edition of The Credit Cannon, a name that, I'll be honest with you, back in February, March, I didn't anticipate seeing this deep into the season. And yeah, I'm saying this deep into the season because we're talking about this specific individual, Jacob deGrom. The fact that he's still healthy and pitching rather well is impressive. In his last 5 starts dating back to April 18th, honestly, the Zack Wheeler slate going back to April 18th and Jacob deGrom slate going back to April 18th are as I mentioned, both exceptional. And they both made starts on April 18th. So something must have clicked on that day, because going back to April 18th for Jacob deGrom, 5 starts, 3-1 in that stretch with an ERA of 1.91 with 33 punch outs in those 5 games. So, good on Jacob deGrom.
He's back a little bit, man. I think he's back to the best you're going to see him be, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, his last start out against the Tigers, 10 punch outs over 5 innings, just 2 earned runs.
I'll take that.
7 strike. I'm just looking at the game log. 7 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 3, 10 strikeouts.
Guy's got it. He's back.
Just got to stay healthy.
I think he's growing the hair out again too, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. Growing a little bit of the lettuce out back. Speaking of staying healthy, A1 Clayton Kershaw is set to make his debut on Saturday versus the Angels in the Freeway Series. So yeah, you knew I was going to pick him up in fantasy a couple weeks back, anticipating this being the case. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping for I read that he's not on
at least.
Well, he said he's not on a pitch limit. I think I said he threw hold on, I don't want to speak out of my behind right now. Did he go 6? I swear he went 6. I thought I read somewhere that he went 6. Maybe it was not 6.
Is there a fire in Chicago? What's happening? It's so smoky there.
I don't know. Where did I see that? Or maybe I saw like 60 pitches he went his last outing. There was
that
6.
Sounds right.
There was a 6 or something.
Sounds
but
right.
ultimately, he should be good to go. Looks like everything is squared away. On the flip side, elsewhere in the rotation, Roki Sasaki has hit the shelf with right shoulder impingement. So he'll be on the shelf for a little bit, a couple weeks, 15-day IL. Another name on the IL, Oswaldo Cabrera. Tell me a little bit about this. I intentionally didn't look at the video, so I don't.
Can you send me a video? Because I watched it live and they didn't do a replay. So
you really want this?
Yeah. I just need to see it.
Okay.
And I deleted all my stuff, so I don't look it up. So if you're unfamiliar, it's like this sack fly. He's on third. He's tagging up, running home, throw up the line. And when that like the catcher kind of comes up the line and it like causes the runner to go around him just a little bit. When he did that, all I saw him, he just goes down and ends up breaking his ankle. And it was actually like, it was pretty sad, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it was sad because he's such a vibes guy and he's like a clubhouse guy. And you could tell that like everyone was pretty shaken up. And like the trainer came out from both. When both trainers come out,
it's game over.
And like immediately wave like a cart on, and then the cart isn't even good enough. Like, we need the ambulance out here.
Well, I read that they like immediately put the towel over it, which is never a good thing.
Yeah, that's pretty rough too.
Was it a clean break? Like I don't know. I just don't know the extent or
why is it so blurry?
Damage that was caused, but yikes, did not sound.
It couldn't be more blurry. What's happening?
That I don't
There
know.
it is. We're good. We're back. And it sucks is that because like it was kind of like a laugher of a game at that moment. Yeah, his foot's just going the wrong direction. Tough, man. Tough. That was an ugly one. Good on that trainer, man. I thought that was like, a lot of times you see like, you just don't see that kind of like trainer comfort that the guy provided. It was kind of legit, dude. Like he like hugged, because Cabrera's like laying on his stomach. He crawled over the plate and touched the plate and then just stopped. The trainer comes out and like immediately like gets on the ground and like hugs him, so Cabrera doesn't look back at his foot. Then he just like hugs him and he's like holding his head because Cabrera's crying and he's just like rubbing his back. And I'm like, like such nice treatment, and like it was just cool. Like I don't know, it's cool to see those guys like kind of jump into action, and just it was a very like difficult injury, and seeing it that way, yeah, his foot is sideways.
Yeah, I mean, those medical staffs, training staffs are always working behind the scenes, unsung heroes for so many of these teams.
And he rode with him to the hospital, by the way, in the ambulance.
Love that. But like when you see a guy or when you see a staff just jump into action without hesitating whatsoever and do what they've been trained to do, you just love to see that. And obviously, you hate to see it, come about in this way, but it sounds like he'll be he has been taken care of as best he can, but
he's probably done for the year.
Yeah,
they say 3 to 4 months, but I mean he's probably done for the year. It sucks, man. He's a cool dude, and for those who like aren't super familiar with Yankees baseball at all, like he's just a super happy guy. Plays whatever position they tell him to play. Plays it hard. It's like he's one of those guys where like if you wanted to emulate, working your butt off and playing the game the right way, he was one of those. So definitely sucks.
Ronald Acuna Jr., I believe it was last night in his first game back since his ACL surgery last year. He was playing for the FCL Braves. I think it was like his third AB, went deep. So encouraging signs there from old Ronnie baseball.
Did I see something that he issued an apology today?
About what? What did he do?
His comments? I thought it was today. Let me see.
What is he apologizing for now?
Acuna apologizes to the Braves.
Oh, yeah. Apologizes to teammates and Brian Snicker for where he addressed his tweet. Yeah.
A month later.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
sure
coming though. He coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure Braves fans and the Braves themselves are just wanting to move past it and get back to playing good ball. They have been playing good ball. Did I see they're back to 500, right?
Yeah, that's impressive.
Coming into the day, props.
Considering the start, I didn't call it dead. I refused.
Nor did I. If you recall, though, I said I wanted to get my shots in while I could. No disrespect.
No disrespect. But you did read some stats about like never doing this, never doing that after an 0-7 start.
It literally the history is there, like on paper. It said no team had made the postseason after starting what? What did they start? 0-7.
I think it was 0-8.
0-8, maybe. No team had made the post. 0-7, maybe. No team had 0-8. No team had made the postseason after the start that they had. I'm not like searching for that. It was flying all over the place, and I was like, let me just no disrespect. Let me just relay that to the people because that'd be a disservice not to. But they've turned it around, so good on them. I got my shots in while I could, but here come the Braves. I can't believe I'm reading this in the year 2025. Rich Hill has signed a minor league agreement with the Kansas City Royals. If Rich Hill pitches for the Royals this year, he will tie the MLB record held by Edwin Jackson of playing for 14 different teams.
Enter the Jesse Pinkman gif of, you can't keep getting away with this. Like, that's how I feel. That's
exactly right.
Like, just shut it down. Shut it down. Sick of it.
Matt Carpenter.
Go be a dad. Like, go hang out with your family. Like, what are we doing?
Stop pitching against like U18 teams, man. Like, who am I to say? If I could still do it, I'd probably still do it. But I can't. I can barely lift my arm these days. So
I know.
Easy for me to say.
Guy's got 30 years on us, and he's still got some bullets in the tank.
Good for him. Matt Carpenter has announced his retirement after a 14-year career, was a 3-time All-Star and a Silver Slugger. Finished with a cumulative career WAR of 28.7.
Nice career right there. That's a good career.
Had a little over 1,200 hits, 179 homers, and was a 259 hitter. Had quite the little resurgence. I know you can speak to it there in the Bronx.
This is a fun couple weeks.
That was interesting to see.
Yeah.
A little renaissance.
Yeah.
Calling it a career. And I guess we could say Hall of Good.
Borderline. Yeah.
Borderline, which side?
Borderline not getting into the Hall of Good. I feel like 1,200 hits is a little light, but still a nice career, man.
Well,
Still
there's
a nice
two
career.
halls above that. Don't forget.
What's above?
You got your Hall of Fame, you got your Hall of Very Good, and then Hall of Good is what I was proposing.
I'll throw him in the Hall of Good.
Yeah, I thought that was a
I'll throw him in the Hall of
I mean,
Good.
no disrespect, but I thought that was a good. I thought that was a good
Hall of Good.
a good tier to slot him in at.
Hall of Good. Yeah.
That's all we got. Wanted to close though with a note, a little reminder about this Sunday. Look, if you know how to keep book, if you know how to score a baseball game, if you don't know how to score a baseball game / keep book, and you want to learn, join us this Sunday night for the Sunday Night Baseball live stream. We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on Twitter. The 30 Take YouTube, the 30 Take Facebook, and my Twitter. You can find me. There you go. In the chat, bought a book just to learn from the expert. I as well. My book is on the way. The one that Nate recommended. I'm very much looking forward to this, and it seemed I put out a little promo post about it today, and it seemed to be received very well by the people. There've already been a few people that said they are going to be there, and I'm imagining that only more are gonna join us for this experience. It's free of charge. You're learning how to keep book with Nate.
We're not charging you.
Nate's gonna teach you this skill.
It's a life skill
that you can use for the rest of your life whenever you go to a baseball game for free.
That's right.
So BYOB, bring your own book. We'll be there probably a little bit before 7, get settled in. A game, I think, starts maybe like 7:10, 7:15 Eastern. So we'll get settled in.
You got to get there early. There's stuff we got to look. You got to write your lineup in. We got to talk number positions for those who aren't familiar with, like, there's a number associated to each position. Hopefully you know that, but it's okay if you don't. But we got to get your lineup in. You got to have all of that stuff kind of ready to go before first pitch. So we'll be on a little earlier just to make sure everything's in order.
Yeah, so maybe we hop on a little earlier, run through the need to knows, and then we're just going to get right into it.
Bingo.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, I know you wanted to remind me to plug.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Separate. This is a separate thing. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go first real quick. Follow us on TikTok. Been trying to crank out more content on TikTok. Now that, it's sticking around for the foreseeable future, who knows? But while we have it, gonna be posting some things on there. Some of the videos make their way to Instagram elsewhere, but some of them don't. I'll be honest with you. Not all of them do. You can see me. I'll tell you one video that's not on there. You can see me with hair running from.
That was nuts.
I was on my lunch break.
Rain?
I was running from pouring down rain to my car so I could make a quick little video about Paul Skenes.
Did you go back into the office looking that way?
No, I had to sort of iron it out a little bit, do the whole hand shuffle.
Sure.
But yeah, you can see that on there. That's not going to be anywhere else except TikTok. So, I haven't plugged that. And you had the good idea earlier to drop a little plug for that. So go hit us up on TikTok.
Yeah.
What do you got?
No, mine was weird, dude. This is just weird. Have you heard about the whole real ID thing with flying?
Yes.
It's like an absolute debacle right now because people think they have an updated ID, but they don't because it doesn't have that little star.
Yep.
Right? Well, it made me think because I had my lineup set yesterday, and for those who aren't following this team, probably didn't even notice this or this specific player. Yandy Diaz is on the restricted list at the moment because his passport wasn't updated when the Rays were going to to Toronto. So he couldn't go with the team. Number one, I don't understand the whole ID thing is like, plug in the Nate Bargatze bit where he talks about his name on his ID not matching his ticket, not like all of this stuff. Like that's what it feels like for traveling right now. But for a Major League Baseball team and a professional athlete, like for this not to be buttoned up, ready to go, to just do the bare minimum of flying on a private plane into another country is just ridiculous.
Don't these teams have like traveling, like
travel agents? They have like travel
experts?
managers.
Yeah, like travel managers.
Secretaries. That's what it is.
What are we doing?
Travel secretaries that's an actual job. That is an actual job that every organization has. Pretty embarrassing.
I was about to whip out my real ID and show you, but I didn't want to put my government information out on the
probably
stream.
Not the best call. I have
That's good
the
foresight.
star, but oddly enough, we're about to go to Denver in a few weeks, and I just asked Paige, said, "Hey, you heard about this?" She's like, "No, what?"
Are you kidding me, dude? This has been a thing since like 2005.
I know. And it like never happened until May 7th. It just got submitted and became official. And she just got her new ID because she changed her name. So
Back
she
to the
just
DMV.
Well, it's not going to get here in time. I don't know if we're going to Denver. Like, I don't know if she can go. I might leave her. I'm going to the Yankees game. Sorry, babe.
I'll meet you there. I got a real ID. I could go.
Yeah. There's an extra ticket now. You're in.
I'll meet you there.
Unbelievable. But it's the same thing because she's like, her new ID doesn't have the star. She does have a passport, but it's on her maiden name.
Oh,
so we're like, what is anyone going to be okay with this? It's hard to say. I'll let you know.
That Nate Bargatze bits is good though. He's like, my name's Nate, but it says Nathaniel on my ID, and the guy's like, well, I don't know what we can do. He's like, we can get there. Like, you see how we got from there to there, right?
50% of the name matches 100% of the pictures. You can always fall back on the pictures. He's so good, dude. Oh, anywho's, well, that's
this
it.
This guy's name is, he's calling himself Nate. It says Nathaniel. Should I just go ahead and shoot him like right here or crazy? Anyway, that's all I got. Oh, poor Paige, man, that sucks.
Well, sucks for her. I'm going.
You'll be enjoying a baseball game by yourself.
I'll let you know. Just keep that day free. All right. It's Memorial Day weekend. Just keep yeah.
We'll see.
Well, all right. Fair enough.
I think I got to go to a wedding. Dude, you know how my Sundays are. It's crazy.
Enough. Stop flexing of how many friends you have.
It's not that. It's just everything falls in a Sunday now. Which is why
on Sundays.
Which
that needs to stop.
That's what I'm saying, but I didn't say that. You said it.
I'll say it. I don't know him.
But
Do I?
He was actually at my wedding. You were also with me at my wedding. No, but that's why I'm excited that we're able to do this keeping score or keeping book thing this Sunday, because I finally got a Sunday open, so we can do the whole keeping book thing. So
Bingo.
Join us for that. Follow us on TikTok, and have a good rest of your week.
And don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.